Good morning from Belgrade, Serbia. This is my first video update for this Friday morning. Let's talk about some news. And the big story is the Trump indictment. They went ahead and did it. They indicted Trump. And from what I understand, interesting place. So from what I understand, they are going to arraign Trump on Wednesday or Thursday. And DeSantis has already come out and said that he's not going to extradite Trump. And Trump put out a statement on Truth Social as well. This is political persecution. And well, you can go on to Telegram or Truth or Twitter and get all the information as to what's going on. But they went ahead and did it. They indicted Trump. And you know why they indicted Trump? Because they have no reverse gear. They have no reverse gear. They have nothing on Trump. The whole thing's a sham, but they have no reverse gear. Just like the ICC arrest warrant for Putin, they had to do the same thing to Trump. They have to get Trump indicted. They have to get the media optics of Trump in handcuffs or Trump appearing in front of a judge. They have to do it. They don't care if they have to make up stuff. They don't care if they have to turn the United States into a banana republic. They don't care what damage they do. They have to get those images. They have to get that video of Trump in handcuffs in front of a judge and being charged with I don't even know what. Right? They have no reverse gear. And so, you take a step back and you think about everything that's happened over the past couple of weeks, everything I reported on yesterday, Saudi Arabia and the SCO, Saudi Arabia and Brazil, UAE, LNG outside of the dollar, Xi Jinping meeting with Putin. All of these things that are going on, the collective West losing it in Ukraine, losing the economic war, losing the sanctions war, losing the war on the ground. You look at everything that's happening, and I come to one conclusion. They are desperately trying to hold on to their neoliberal, neocon, globalist world order. And they're lashing out. They're putting ICC warrants against Putin. They're indicting Trump. They're panicking and they're trying everything in their power to hold on to their power. They're trying to hold on to their power because they know it is all collapsing. Beautiful, huh? So the noise in the background is the fountain. Yeah, that's what's going on. To put it in very simple terms, there are a lot of people that are saying, a lot of analysts that are saying that, the arrest of Trump is some sort of way for the Democrats to make Trump even more popular because they actually want to run against Trump because they believe that Biden can win again against Trump and all of that stuff. I don't think it's that complicated. I can see the argument. I can see the argument being made that Biden is such a bad president. He has absolutely nothing to show for his 2-3 years as U.S. president, except just a wrecking ball of disaster after disaster. But I can see the argument that, if you run Biden against Trump, well, then you're going to get people to vote for Biden because they're just completely obsessed, deranged with Trump. So I can see that argument, but I don't think it's that complicated. I don't think these people are that sophisticated. I don't think they play 3, 4, 5D chess. I just think that they're lashing out. They're in panic mode and they're lashing out, and they're doing everything they can to lock everyone up who poses a threat to their power, whether it's Putin or Trump or tomorrow Xi Jinping or whatever. It doesn't, whoever it is, or not even a president or a prime minister, someone further down. They're looking to hold on to the world that is slipping away, and it's slipping away very, very fast. So that is the big news, the Trump indictment. What a shame to see these people destroy and tear apart the U.S. But the U.S. will come through this. It'll come through this, and it'll be better for it. It's going to be hard. Things are going to be hard. Things are going to be rough over the next couple of years, maybe even longer. But when we come out on the other side of the tunnel, I think things will be better. If we can avoid the hot war, that is. That's the big worry, to avoid the hot war. All right, so that's the story with Trump, and let's talk about Ursula von der Crazy, and she gave her China doctrine speech yesterday. She gave a speech on China. She laid out how the EU is going to deal with the evil Xi Jinping and the evil China, because according to Ursula von der Crazy, China is just trying to assert itself on the world stage, and this is unacceptable for Ursula. And so she laid out her China doctrine, her China policy. And to sum it up, her policy is that the European Union, while it's concerned with China and it finds it unacceptable that China look after its best interest, and that China makes business deals with countries that the EU considers to have dominion over, she finds this completely unacceptable. She comes to the realization that the EU simply cannot take on China at this very moment. And so the policy is going to be one of de-risking with China and not decoupling. Now, this is before the Spanish Prime Minister Macron, and I believe even Ursula, before they make a trip to China and meet with Xi Jinping, she lays out her China policy, and she sends a warning to China that the EU is going to start de-risking from China, not decoupling, de-risking. And Ursula is talking about finding ways to move away from Europe's dependence on Chinese manufacturing and Chinese minerals and rare earth minerals and medicines and whatever. Everything is manufactured and made in China, and she's saying that the EU is now going to start to look for alternatives. They are going to de-risk. They're not going to completely sever, but they're going to start to hedge. Now, how are they going to do this? I have no idea. They really made a mess of their decoupling from Russia. Boy, did they make a mess of their decoupling from Russia. It led to deindustrialization of Europe. So we'll see how they're going to pull this one off. I guess you have the capable leadership of Ursula to to see Europe through this de-risking efforts. But one of the things that Ursula said she's going to do is that she is going to create a fund to de-risk from China. Another fund. She called it the European, I don't know, the European Minerals and Manufacturing Fund or something like that. I forgot the name. Another fund. They're going to put an acronym to it. They're going to dump a lot of euros into it. They're going to print more euros, and everyone's going to steal from that fund. That's the EU solution to everything. Create a fund. It reminds me of like when creating apps was like super trendy and really popular, and everyone would say, you know, there's an app for that. You know, there's an app for that. You got a problem? Don't worry, there's an app for that. That's the European Union. There's a fund for that. We need ammunition for Ukraine? There's a fund for that. We want to de-risk from China? There's a fund for that. We'll create a fund. That's the EU's answer to everything. Create a fund. Anyway, that was Ursula laying out her China doctrine, talking about how the European Union is going to deal with a rising China, and how the EU finds it unacceptable that China is rising. It's asserting itself on the world stage, and it's providing options to the global South, options that don't fall in line with Ursula's world order, and she finds this unacceptable. It's unacceptable that countries in the world have options. And Ursula is upset about all of this, but she's going to go to China. I believe she's going to China. Macron is definitely going to China, and they're going to sit down with Xi Jinping, and they're going to lay it all on the table as to how they see the world, and they're going to put down their red lines for China, and we'll see how Xi Jinping reacts. Ursula's very unhappy that China is siding with Russia as well. Very unhappy. She's very upset. Ursula's very, very upset. She's going to bring China's economy to tatters. Tatters is what she's going to do. Oh boy. What a crazy world we live in. So, Kalupa, the foreign minister of Ukraine, he said that Ukraine is going to be entering the European Union in 2023. He said that everyone that believes that Ukraine is going to need 5 or 10 years to enter the EU, well, they're going to be plenty surprised, because Kalupa is coming out and saying that the EU is going to begin accession talks with Ukraine in late 2023. That is what Kalupa said yesterday in a statement. Or did he say 2024? One second, let me see here. Ukraine foreign minister gives estimate on EU accession. Yeah, he says the talks are going to begin in 2023. Our goal is to open accession talks in 2023. I'm not going to give you a year when Ukraine will become a full member. I will only say that this is going to happen. Yeah. All right, Kalupa. My personal take on this is absolutely bring Ukraine into the European Union, absolutely bring Moldova into the European Union, absolutely bring Georgia into the European Union. Bring them all in. Bring them all in. The quicker we bring them in, the quicker the whole EU house of cards collapses. That's my take on this. So begin those accession talks, bring them into the European Union, and let's get this party started. Let's get this party started in Belgrade, Serbia. All right. Let's see. That's Kalupa. Kalupa also, he, this is interesting. The foreign minister of Ukraine, cross here. The foreign minister of Ukraine is downplaying the spring counteroffensive. I was like, what? What is Kaluba saying? So he's downplaying the whole counteroffensive thing. They're starting to panic. They are starting to panic. So let's see here. What did Kaluba say? Kaluba has urged that Western military aid continue until Kiev achieves all its goals, confronting Russian forces. Okay. A counteroffensive by Ukraine that has been much anticipated should not be considered as a make or break moment in its conflict with Russia, Kiev's foreign minister Dmitry Kaluba has said, urging his country's foreign backers to maintain their support regardless of the outcome of this expected operation. So whatever happens with the spring counteroffensive, if it happens, if it doesn't happen, if it's a big success, if it's a moderate success, if it's a complete failure, whatever happens, keep the money coming. Keep the money coming. That's what Kaluba's saying. Let's see. Quote, we should counter by all means the perception of the counteroffensive as the decisive battle of the war, he told the Financial Times, as quoted on Wednesday. He said Kiev was concerned that the operation would not result in Ukrainian troops pushing Russia 100% out of the territory it wishes to reclaim. However, in this scenario of underachievement, he feared some people may say this was the last decisive battle, and now we have to think of an alternative scenario. So it's not going to achieve 100% of its goals. Is it going to achieve 90%? Is it going to achieve 50%? 1% Kaluba? What's the benchmark? What exactly are you aiming for? and I find this statement just so clownish, man. These guys are so clownish. You're the one, Kaluba, Elensky, Podolyak. You're the guys that have been telling us that in the springtime, you're going to be, what did they say? In the summer, we're going to be sunbathing in Crimea. Is that what they said? They're the ones that are saying this. They're the ones that are going on and on about how they're going to take back Crimea and Donbass, and they're going to go all the way to Rostov and Voronezh, marching on Moscow. For the past 6 months, the Elensky regime has been nonstop about Crimea, Donetsk, Lugansk, all of this stuff. They've been telling us that they are going to beat back the Russian army, and they're going to take everything. They're going to take everything, and they're going to be, the quote was, sunbathing in Crimea. I don't know who said that. I think it was that Danilov guy or someone. They said they're going to be sunbathing in Crimea come summertime. Maybe it was Podolyak. It was one of Elensky's production staff that said it. And now the new narrative is, well, if we don't take 100% of the territory, and if things don't go too well, and just don't stop the money from coming in, even if the counteroffensive is a failure. I'm telling you, as the Ukraine foreign minister, just keep the money coming in. That's the message. Oh man, these guys, I'm telling you. I am telling you, they're the ones that drive these narratives. Let's go this way. They're the ones that drove the narrative of the Russian winter counteroffensive. Russia never said it was going to go on a winter offensive. Russia doesn't say anything, to be quite honest, the Russian military. They just come out with a statement every day, and they say we destroyed 10 tanks, three HIMARS, and I mean they just give a list of what they destroyed. That's it. That's the information that you get from the Russian military. That's all you get. Every day you get a statement, an itemized list of everything that they've destroyed. And of course, they always end it with all goals of the special military operation will be met. That's how they end every video. Every video update that they do with the war, they say all goals of the special military operation will be met. That's what you get from the Russian Ministry of Defense. The West made up the Russian winter offensive. No one said Russia was going to go on a winter offensive. That was all spin. Collective West media spin. And now we have the spring counteroffensive, and everyone is talking about the spring counteroffensive. Top of the list is Elensky and Kalupa and Podolyak. And now they're trying to walk it back, it seems. Or at least water it down, you know. If we don't do so well on the spring counteroffensive, you know, it's not over, and keep the money and the weapons flowing. It's not a big deal, you know. Bakhmut is not strategic, right? It was strategic for a whole year of the conflict, and then it became, you know, not strategic. Anyway, that is Kaluba, the foreign minister of Ukraine. And one more story, and we'll get to our clown world. The Wall Street Journal spy. That's a big one. That is a big story. This Wall Street Journal. Well, alleged spy is what we have to say. Alleged spy. So this guy was a reporter for the WSJ. He was in, I believe he was in Yekaterinburg, if I got it right. And he has been arrested and charged with spying against Russia. Let's see here. We got a tweet from Anthony Blinken. He said, "We are deeply concerned over Russia's announcement. It has detained a U.S. citizen journalist. The State Department's highest priority is the safety and security of U.S. citizens abroad. If you are a U.S. citizen living or traveling in Russia, please leave immediately." Yeah, the U.S. State Department, they issued a statement calling on all Americans in Russia to leave, to get out. And Maria Zakharova, when this statement came out, and John Kirby also gave a statement, and he said all Americans in Russia leave immediately. Maria Zakharova, she said this. She said, "I think John forgot to add all Americans engaged in espionage before the word Americans. It must have been said between the lines." Wall Street Journal correspondent Evan Gershkovich, according to the Kremlin, was caught red-handed trying to obtain Russian state secrets. Dmitry Peskov has claimed the journalist was detained by the FSB, the Federal Security Service, in the city of Ekaterinburg on Thursday. So Peskov said he was caught red-handed. Okay. Let's see here. Speaking to journalists via conference call, Peskov was asked to comment on the arrest of the American citizen and whether Russia will cooperate with U.S. security services on the issue. The spokesperson stated that he does not know the full details of the case and that the matter remains in the hands of the FSB. However, Peskov claimed that as far as he was aware, Gershkovich had been caught in the act of trying to collect intelligence about a defense facility in violation of Russian law on state secrets. The correspondent who covers news from Russia, Ukraine, and the former USSR could face between 10 and 20 years in prison if charged with espionage. Okay. Me and Alexander did a video on the Duran maybe like a month or two ago. And at the time, it was like maybe, I forgot the timeline. I'm not good with time. Anyway, it was like a couple of weeks or a month after the whole Victor Bout, Brittany Griner thing had ended, and the U.S. State Department, they started to arrest more Russian citizens, more Russian nationals, even Russian nationals who were just traveling around like the world. And the State Department started to grab them, started to arrest them. They arrested one guy who had a cryptocurrency exchange. I forgot the name of the exchange. One sec. I think I might have bookmarked it. I think like Blitz something. It's Zlato exchange. So they arrested this guy. They arrested in Milan, they arrested the son of a Russian governor, like one of the governors of a region in Russia. They arrested his son in Italy, though. I think like last week, he broke out of house arrest. It looks like the FSB busted him out or something happened. I don't know. But anyway, they started to arrest a bunch of Russian nationals. And, we were doing this video, me and Alexander, and we were talking about how, the State Department hasn't learned its lesson from the whole Brittany Griner thing. That, if they start arresting Russians, well, the Russians will start arresting Americans. And this is never going to end. And I don't know if that's what this is about. I don't know if this is Russia arresting a journalist in order to get to some sort of a deal and release some Russians that the U.S. has now arrested or has in custody. I don't know, but we talked about this like 2 months ago, me and Alexander, and we said, watch, Russia's going to start arresting Americans because the State Department, 1 month after the whole Brittany Griner embarrassment, and it was an embarrassment for the Biden White House, 1 month after the whole thing had concluded, they were back at it, arresting Russian citizens, whether they were in Milan or anywhere they were. They were grabbing them and they were arresting them. The cryptocurrency guy, they arrested him because they said he has a cryptocurrency exchange which facilitates the Russian elite to bypass sanctions. That's why they arrested him. Just nonsense stuff. Anyway, that's what I'll say about that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this guy was spying. I don't know if he was a real journalist just doing his job. But, arresting Americans and arresting Russians, it looks like this is going to be the norm. America's going to arrest some Russians after this, and this is how the game is going to be played. We are back in Cold War times, and eventually they're going to throw the Chinese in there as well, and this is how it's going to be. Hollywood will make films about all this stuff, and and this is the new Cold War. As long as we can avoid a hot war, I guess this is the reality of the world we live in now. So that was the big news there. Free Julian Assange, by the way. Free Julian Assange. So let's do a clown world. One clown world, I can't confirm it, is that, this is just a rumor, is that the SBU, the Ukraine intelligence agencies, they're very worried about the negative sentiment among the army against Elensky. I have been seeing a lot of videos on Telegram. Once again, hard to confirm all this stuff, but I've been seeing a lot of videos on Telegram with, let's walk towards the parliament. This is like, I guess this is center of Belgrade, you would say. I mean, I think the parliament building is here, and I'm not sure that's, someone in Serbia will tell me, someone that's watching this from Serbia will tell me what that, I think it's the president's office, I guess, or I think it's the president's residency over there. Anyway, let's walk towards the parliament building, which is a beautiful building, beautiful architecture. So yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Telegram videos of Ukraine soldiers. A lot of this stuff is going viral, and videos on Twitter as well. A lot of the soldiers in Bakhmut who are very upset with Elensky, they feel betrayed, as they should be. They should feel betrayed by the Elensky regime, as it's lining its pockets with billions and billions of dollars. It's sending them to certain death. For what? For what? No No one can really answer what all of this is for. Regime change in Russia, is that what this is still all about? EU values? So you are seeing videos of military very upset, and it looks like the SBU is concerned about this because you're starting to get the military turning on Elensky. And I've even seen videos of soldiers refusing to be sent to Bakhmut as well. Once again, it's hard to confirm all of this, but I thought I would throw that out there. And we have the big clown world. Trying to see if I have any other stories that I want to get to before I get to the clown world from Austria here. People are asking me about this Pro News, this Greek publication, the article that they put out, a terrifying strike of the Russian supersonic missile Dagger at a depth of 130 meters on the NATO command center in Ukraine. Greek Pro News writes about the huge losses among NATO officers as a result of the missile attack. You know, I'll contact people that I know in Greece that know this media scene from the inside, and I'll get their take on Pro News. I don't know. I just don't know about this story. I can't say that it's accurate. I can't say that it's not. But a lot of people are asking me to comment on this because it is a Greek publication that is running with this story. So I'll try to figure out exactly what's going on there, and if Pro News is on the up and up, or if this is just clickbait stuff. I don't know. I'll try to figure it out, because if this is true, then this is big. That is a big story if it is true. The missile hitting this bunker or this NATO command center, at a depth of 130 meters. We'll see. So in Austria, this is my final clown world, and we'll wrap this video up. In Austria, Elensky was speaking to the parliament, and as Elensky was speaking, I believe they're called the Freedom Party. Let me see. I believe it's like the Austrian Freedom Party. It's not a small party. I think they're actually one of the top parties, the first, if not the second party. Yeah, the Austrian Freedom Party. So as Elensky was speaking in Austria, the Austrian Freedom Party, they got up and they left halfway during his video broadcast. As soon as he began to speak, the legislators from the APS stood up and left the room where the meeting of the lower house was being held. Earlier, the head of the Austrian Freedom Party, Herbert Kickl, opposed Elensky's speech as the party wants to protect the country's neutrality. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So this is what Elensky was saying when they got up and left. He thanked Austria for its humanitarian and demining assistance. He said, and I quote, "When we turn to you for support, we ask you to protect human lives. Ukraine wants to live in security, peace, and freedom." That is what Elensky said. He said, when we turn to you for support, we ask you to protect human lives. Ukraine wants to live in security, peace, and freedom. And then he invited the deputies to go to Ukraine and see the situation for themselves. And these parliamentarians, they got up and left, and they even left like a placard a sign on their desks as well. And they want Austria to stay out of all of this. They want Austria to remain neutral and to stay out of all of this. Poor Elensky. People are turning on Elensky, I'm telling you. If I was Elensky, I would be like preparing my exit ASAP, because you can see that the tide is shifting. People do not like Elensky. And the people that liked Elensky and were warm to Elensky, well, they're cooling down now. They're not too hot on Elensky anymore. So, I don't know. I think Elensky's time is running out. He even asked the oil companies to give some of their profits, he calls them war profits, to his regime. He claims that because of the war and of the sanctions, that the oil companies, they have made record profits, and that those profits should be shared with Ukraine and with Elensky. Man, I'm telling you, this guy. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up the video there. Can you imagine Elensky speaking to the Austrian parliament, and then he sees them getting up and leaving? Where are you going? Why are these parliament people? Why are they leaving as I speak? Are they going to their office? Maybe they go to their office, get some money, get some cash, and bring it back. It's okay. That's good. That's very good. Go to your office, bring some cash, and come back, and I will finish my speech. That's the video, everyone. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rockfin and Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, and Telegram. And go to Duran Shop. 1 sec. There we go. I am wearing my Duran Greek t-shirt today. 10% off. Use the code GOODDAY. Take care.